with a victory for supporters of term limits in Bossier City.
After a months-long legal fight between some council members and the Bossier Term Limits Coalition, voters will now decide the fate of retroactive term limits in a spring special election. So let's find out more from KTBS 3's Sydney Lane. Sydney?
This afternoon, the Bossier City Council voted unanimously to call for the election. The council's decision comes after an appeals court upheld a Bossier District Court order calling for the special election.
Audience members cheered when the vote count was announced. Many of them were part of the Bossier Term Limits Coalition, who petitioned for the right to vote on retroactive term limits.
We feel incredible. I mean, for it to finally come on the ballot is going to be good for Bossier City.
While coalition members are happy to see the council finally reached this decision, they still are upset it took multiple court rulings for the council to finally vote in favor.
The frustration that we have is that this should have been on the ballot on the December election. If it had been on the ballot in the December election, then the people that were going to be term limited out would not be able to run for city council.
Councilman Chris Smith, Brian Hammonds, and Mayor Tommy Chandler have been on the side of the coalition throughout this legal battle.
Petitioning your government is a sacred right held in the United States Constitution and the Louisiana Constitution and even the Bossier City Charter. It's been a little messy, but at the end of the day, I think you're having a group of people come together for one common goal, and for that I'm excited.
The city's charter commission came up with a version of term limits that will be voted on in the March election. This version is not retroactive, but does set a limit for the number of consecutive terms that can be served.
The voters in Bossier want term limits. The question is whether they want them forward-looking or retroactive. Which set of charter amendments we end up with is still unknown to us.
The March election is also when voters will choose their city council members and mayor. Qualifying for these positions begins tomorrow and goes through Friday. The election to vote for retroactive terms is May 4th.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been.
All right.